Okay, Keelan. Yesterday we ended up doing our panel, finishing up the top section with our flange around, and you shrunk all that up and you used the mechanical shrinker. Did a great job. Nice and straight. Everything's nice and crisp. We've got our radius. We've got our nice flow and go through the top of the panel with no undulations in it. You shrank down on the edge and brought that over real nice. And then you wheeled it through. Then you use the urethane wheel to blend and shape and get that fit in. And that's where the detail's all in. When you put the panel on in position, look at that. That's a click fit.
It's on good.
A click fit. I mean, it fits nice. We don't have to clamp it down. Everything's good. So I feel that this panel was finished nicely. Did you learn much on that one?
Absolutely.
On your shrinking?
Yeah, absolutely. Learned a lot about the shrinking and stretching and moving the lumps, moving the high spots, low spots.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks, is it?
Absolutely not.
And then on this panel was the first panel that we did, doing the shaping, the English wheel. We did the bag of walnuts first in the lead shot bag and shaped all that up, pre-shaped it, then you wheeled it. And then we wheeled it from this side progressively into this side to keep that nice flat plane through there, which is what coordinates with the buck. So then when we put this panel into position, we're just holding it in, just one finger, and everything's nice and tight. So that's a good fit.
Yeah.
That was a challenge for you, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, because you're brand new at doing metal shaping, and you know, it's nice to be able to achieve. And I'm very impressed. You did a great job. I mean, you know, you just you got it done. So now what we're going to be doing is going from the buck we're going to utilise to set our panels in. And what I will do is I'll clamp the panels down just so they set in the same position. And then we're going to position this panel and we're going to get that to fit in. But you can see how your fit is, one panel to the other. There's no clamps needed, all the edges are touching, everything conforms and shapes in nicely. So we're really ready to mark that in. And then once we've marked it in for welding, we're going to be trimming on the edge to get rid of most of the stress on the metal. And then this one's got a little bit of shrinkage on this side. So we've got equal and opposite stress on our panel when we weld that together. So therefore, it will be a nice uniform shape going through the panel. We won't have any real undulations, change in shape or movement. So you'll be able to just go and flow with your welding. And as you were working out all the different shapes, we went even through with our radius gauge, and the radius gauge just conforming so that everything fits. So not only does it fit the buck, if we didn't have a buck and this was a fender, we'd be making it to the old fender, getting it as close as we can, but we'd still be coming in with our radius gauge to make sure all of our radiuses are still fitting and working. The same with our other panel, we were doing the same thing. You've got your radius gauge, your number 4, and that comes in and you've got that go and flow all the way through. So we know that that's a nice fit and a nice shape. So when we've welded these two together and planished it up, it will be a snap fit on the buck, which is real nice.
Yeah.
You've got to be pretty excited about that.
Oh yeah, you know it.
So one of the main things you wanted to learn was some TIG welding on sheet metal. So before we get into welding that, because this is TIG welding is kind of brand new to you, because you did some college work, you've done some stick welding and MIG welding, and just a very small amount of TIG, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So was that challenging for you in the school and all the stuff, learning all the aspects of the different welding?
Yeah, the big thing is, from a beginner standpoint, is learning how to manage your heat and not warping things, and just practice, and learn a little bit more every day.
That's great. Yeah, a lot of it in the sheet metal is exactly the same way when you come in with a TIG. Your heat range is very important. You need enough heat to be able to weld the job together, and you get good penetration. And you're adding just enough rod so that you get a nice flat weld with a good penetration. So the heat range is very critical. So that would be another aspect that might stretch you a little bit, but we'll do some practice. So that's why we made up this quick little coupons, and they're shaped. So when we come to TIG welding, we're gonna set the TIG welder up. We're just gonna do flat coupons, and you're gonna run some welds across the flat coupons. Welding flat sheet metal is so much easier than welding shaped, because as you put the heat to the panel, the heat starts moving the panel because of the heat and the shape that's put into it. So you'll have to control it. So it's just a small panel, and we'll TIG weld this one together first and see how it goes. And then you'll be kind of geared up a little bit better to know what's going to go on with this one. So there you go, you've done a great job. We've been using the benchtop small wheel, we've been using the full-size English wheel. Which one did you prefer? You got any preference to which one you like best?
I'd say that one's definitely easier to use, but I think that one I could use some more practice on. I think I would enjoy that one more. Yeah.
It does make a difference in size,
Yeah.
doesn't it? And just the utilisation. This one really moves metal quickly. This one is more for detail. And then you've got the whole array of different wheels with urethane bands, so it's very versatile. And it's really geared up for doing smaller panels like this, because it's a bench top. It doesn't have such a deep throat where this one has, and this one's geared up for doing larger panels. Has the smaller wheels and things. So yeah, it's great. And practice makes perfect, right? Just keep on practicing.
Right.
So, well, there you go then, Keelan. That's what we're going to be doing today, is gearing up, getting ready to mark everything in, go over to the TIG welding bench, and we'll get some welding done. All right?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good.